Okay, 5 super quick future rhythm tips off of this clip right here. Here we go. So starting things off with the simplest one, you should add a backer hit if you have a super repetitive melodic rhythm drop. So that particular sound right there, which I made super simply by taking the main 3 synth layers, which is these two, the sub, and this. Chopping out just one of the hits using a volume shaper. So the one right before the snare in this case. Then I'm sending them through whatever effects change the timbre of the sound, just the tone of the sound. Which in this case is a pitch shifter with some formant shifting, EQing, reverb. Then some distortion and a super wide chorus. Then more distortion and compression just to make it beefier. And I want this one super wide because my original synths, as you can see down here, are really, really thin. They're almost mono. So you want to do whatever you're doing stereo effect wise. So if your main synths are really wide, you want your backer to be really mono. If your main synths are relatively in the middle, you want your backer synth to be super wide. See how it kind of pops out right before that clap? And that's going to give it some contrast and a bit more depth to your drop. I would say, let me see, without the backer. Maybe that's 25% more boring. We'll go 50%. It's 50% worse without the backer. The backer takes barely any effort. Add a little backer to your thing. Next, let's talk about some of these little synth fills that I have. So in this one, I'm doing a little hockety fill. And the way that I accomplish this is by having, if I play it really slow here, you'll see that I just have 4 sounds that happen a quarter note apart and then end on this one. So that's pitched down, but you get the idea. It's half speed, and it's really simple sounds. A little drum hit, a little Razor synth hit that's really short. That's one of the other things. You want these to be short and percussive. So this one is almost like a drum made from Razor. And then the last one is just one of my little like future rhythm bass dump things. You can get those on Patreon. I have a bunch on there. So hocketing between them just makes it a little, you don't have to sound design anything. It almost sounds like a drum fill without being all drums. Let's go into the next tip here, which is how to get like a little flowy thing like this. And I'll play it in context. And the idea for this one is you don't always want to have like such a bass sounding or drum sounding fill. Sometimes it's just as easy as like getting a serum patch, making a little ARP run. I'm just doing plucks here, and then sending that into like a bunch of post effects. So in this case, I'm doing one of the spectralized patchers that I have. It's $10 over on Gumroad, and just automating one of my little effects parameters in there. And if you don't have one of these, just do something with a bunch of post effects on it, and just make it sound weirder than just a little synth run. Those can kind of lean out of the digital space that like Future Rhythm usually sits in. Then I have this thing, which is just another like spectral bass dump type thing that I've made sound even more spectral by making this pitch bend automation. So 48 up, 48 down on the range. And then in context, it just has that future rhythmy feel. The next tip that I have here is take sounds that are not in key and use pitch shifting or frequency shifting or chroma, which is kind of just like resonance boosting, to make them sound like that they're in key. And the reason for that is there's a weird digitalness that most pitch shifters, formant shifters, and all that type of stuff have, that feel a little bit more strangely digital and give you that like weird future rhythm sound. So here's the sound without any post effects here. Then I've just added a little bit of reverb and OTT and EQing to get that like hoovery synth sound. And then I just have a digitalis that I'm like using the pitch shifting module and automating that to kind of get it into the spot that I want it. So I'm using this automation right here. So that's a good way to get stuff that sounds nice and weird and digital. Then lastly, let's talk about getting some more future rhythmy bass sounds like the main synths from these. And I'm not going to spend a ton of time on these because they're not that good in my opinion. So we have this sound right here mixed with this sound right here and this sound, which is the same sound as the first one that I played there. So how did I get these? One of them is just a little bass sample synth sound design one hit that I made, one shot that I made in another sound design session. Then I'm just sending through compression and reverb and a little bit of chorus. And then this one is the same sound design hit that I've just sent into a comb filter that I have tuned to E minor, or E, which is the E minor is the tune of this track, or the key of this track. Then for the other one, this is where I'd say the tip comes in, is I have this synth, little resonant weird synth that I have that really sounds nothing like that until I do the big tip that I have here, which is send it through a spectral gate, right? So I have it kind of getting some of the little fundamental or like resonant frequencies that I then use a chroma to pitch shift. And I'm not going to overdo it with the chroma. It doesn't work as well in the mix, and I'll kind of show that. But I get a lot of comments that are, don't use chroma, don't overuse chroma, don't use chroma. Don't listen to those people. Just do whatever you want to do. I mean, you can don't use chroma if you don't want to, but like, if it's the only thing that you know, you need to learn more and you don't just use chroma. But like, right, chroma is a really useful thing to use. Don't listen to all the chroma hate that's going on. This video is brought to you by Big Chroma. Only use chroma. If you don't have chroma, you're not even a real musician. So you don't know how to do anything, and chroma is the only way forward. So buy chroma first. Hit them up and tell them that I promoted their shit to death, and say they should cut me a check for that, and then use chroma. Big Chroma supports Future Rhythm. Anyways, that's it for this one, y'all. The last thing that I want to say here is, like, you're probably saying, wait, you didn't even explain how to make the synth that does that. The synth is not important. That's the thing they don't tell you. When you're at Future Rhythm school, they say, you know what? Let's never tell them that the synth is not important. And I'm going to prove that the synth is not important by taking a piece of Foley, and I'll just kind of beef it out, boost it, clip it. And it sounds, not quite as good, but damn near similar. And so that's going to do it for this one, y'all. If you want to help the channel out, you can do that by going to gumroad.com, buying some stuff. I have the Third Wave Dubstep pack, which has some samples that are similar to this vein of music, or actually, exactly this vein of music. I also have the Spectral Patchers. They're on the screen now. They're worth it for the $6 that it costs to get those 3, or you can get the whole bundle for $10. I also have a Patreon, 100 samples a month plus at least one other goodie. Sign up for that. Shit, go to your school and steal 5 of your friends' credit cards and sign everybody up. The whole gang can get in on Patreon, y'all. They're gonna love it. Everybody's gonna love it. And they're not gonna notice. They're not gonna sweat it. It's not gonna wreck them. It's $5, man. Come on. I've seen what you kids are doing on TikTok. It would be the 3rd worst thing that you did this month if you did that. So go ahead and do that. It's not gonna kill anybody. Lastly, hit me up for lessons on Instagram, and I will see you on the next one. Thank you for watching.